Alright guys, what's up, man? Let's see if this works. Everything's good? I think everything's good. Yeah, everything's good. Let me know if there's any issues. I'm still setting up the new rig and everything, so yeah, I'm only gonna turn on my side camera. Alrighty, everything looks pretty good. I'm still getting used to the new system here, so yeah. You guys hear me? All good? Okay, I'm just gonna I hope it's okay to just keep like some music on in the background. It's a little bit more, it's like better for the ambience, I think. And my lady's working out behind me, so I don't want to distract her with just me. So anyways, welcome guys to another episode. This is the kind of video that is very chill. It's not like a normal YouTube video. It's the videos that I would be having for my private Discord group, mainly the elite group rather. And the big difference between the elite group and the platinum group is that the elite group they don't get live updates through live streaming, but they will get semi-live video updates and calls on the signals and the trades that I'll be taking. Whereas the platinum group, when it goes live in March, my whole desktop will be streamed. Binance will be streamed pretty much at all times. I'll navigate every single trade that I take before I enter it. So you're basically trading with me live, and you also get the ability to ask me any questions that you want to anytime during the trade. And for the first few weeks, the microphone, nobody will be able to talk except for me because I need to familiarize myself with everything. But after that, it will be turned on and people will have the opportunity to engage with me. And I have a reputation of making a tremendous amount of profit day trading. So because of that, imagine what you can learn with me in terms of education and knowledge, having a mentor, and especially the potential profits that you can make. Just being in the group with me for a few months, I can guarantee that it will change the way that you trade. So right now there's 22 people in the group and there's only space for 50 people. So take a look at the link and the information below if you want to join it. The cost to join is very substantial, but the reason for that is because I'm worth it. If it's not for you because it's too high of a price, I really don't care, to be honest. I know my worth. I know what I can do in crypto. I know what I'm capable of, and I know what I've done. So if you would like to have an opportunity to live trade with me, the fee it'll be nothing by the time you earn back what you've paid and the education that you have from me. It'll cost you $20,000 over 4 installments. So basically $5,000 every 3 months. You don't have to stay in it if you don't want to. Okay, you can exit after the first 3 months if you want to, or keep paying it if you want to get that lifetime membership to trade with me for the next few years for sure. So I'm going to give you guys literally the best advice that you can possibly get right now, okay, when it comes to crypto. And I'm going to be as real as I can with you guys, and we're going to talk about the best way to actually profit from this market and talk about probably one of the best things that you should be doing, and talk about some of the risks associated with crypto right now, okay? So right now, Bitcoin has dropped a very substantial amount, okay? It's dropped basically, like we're talking about 18% so far. Like, people might think that this is a substantial amount, but I need to remind you guys very firmly that this is absolutely nothing. Because we've seen before in the crypto bull markets, for example here, Bitcoin has dropped 30%. In early 2017, Bitcoin dropped 35%. In March, Bitcoin dropped 32%. And then it goes even bigger. In June of 2017, Bitcoin drops 40%. In September of 2017, Bitcoin drops 41%. In November, Bitcoin drops 30%. Okay? And then if you take a look at right now, guys, we have not had a major drop at all in any way. Like, the biggest drop that we've had was in 2024, and it was 33%. It was a tiny little blip in the market, and it was only once. If you take a look at after we reached the bottom in 2020, you know, in 2020 here, we dropped 21%, but before reaching the top, right, in 2021, early 2021, we ended up dropping 31% there. We ended up dropping 27% there. We ended up dropping 56% here before making a new all-time high. So if you think that this is a big drop, you haven't been in crypto long enough yet, to be quite honest, okay? Hold on, does my stream even work still? Give me 1 second, guys. I don't know if it's working because my OBS froze. 1 second. Okay, it's working again. It's a new computer. I'm still getting the kinks out, so sometimes there might be some delays. You know, Capo de Corleone said, "You lose when you trade. It's gambling. You better hold." Now, a comment like that, people saying that you only lose when you trade and trading is gambling, that comes from somebody that has no experience trading successfully before, right? So that's not true at all. That, like, saying that it's time to mute you, Cap. Like, I got no time to deal with people that are negative or that talk shit. Get the fuck out of my channel. You're not wanted here. But anybody that says that you're only losing when you day trade, it just, honestly, they're just people who have never found any success, mainly because they're not disciplined enough, and secondly, they're not intelligent enough, right? So there are many successful day traders out there. It just comes down to the right person. I would say 1 out of 100 or 1 out of 1,000 people are actually able to profit in any market when it comes to day trading. The only question is, are you willing to put in the hard work like them, right? It's not just going to come overnight. It's not going to be like, I'm going to study 1 hour a day and I'm going to be successful and quit my job and day trade forever. It doesn't work like that, man. You got to put in the time, the grind, the hustle, the sweat, the tears, the blood. You got to lose more than you win before you get back to the top. That's always how it's going to be. So right now, it's not wise, in my opinion, anyway, to DCA. The reason for that is because I think that Bitcoin has actually broken key support levels already. I think the key support levels were basically around 93,400. Now we are in the very lower ranges of a possible bear trapped region. So if you decide to DCA in this range, when you think about the risk associated with it, yes, maybe you're going to have the potential to skyrocket and catch a beautiful dip that's going to bounce. But at the same time, how many times are we guaranteed to bounce in this bear trapped range? And also, you weigh it against the potential of a major drop to the downside, which could happen any moment. And the fact that we got to this green box so many times already, it implies that eventually it's going to break, and not always it's going to hold. Every time it gets there again, there's a chance of it breaking further down. And if we consider pretty much from the low of the last structure to the high of this structure, it's right there, right? You would all agree with me that's the structure. From the last low of this wave to that high. If you do a Fibonacci retracement from the low to the high, we've actually barely retraced 236, just a little bit lower. If we were to bounce here and then we start to create new highs, this would be the most bullish market that we've ever seen, where Bitcoin barely retraces and it just skyrockets close to the 236 Fibonacci. What's more realistic? That scenario where we skyrocket and actually hold here, because keep in mind, the less of a retracement, the more bullish the next wave is likely going to be. So no, I didn't leave Turkey. I'm in the Philippines for 3 months on pleasure and working. Just wanted to have a change of environment. So my lady and I decided to move to the Philippines for only 3 months. But no, I still live in Turkey. So this scenario is not likely, in my opinion. Okay, just because the market hasn't been bullish in any way, right? So I just don't believe that we're going to do a short correction and then rally up. What I do believe is that maybe, okay, this is a possibility. Maybe we'll get a correction to the upside, but I don't think the correction is over yet. We'll get a retracement to the upside, but eventually it's going to continue down to make that lower low that's necessary for a bull market to continue. I think it's much more likely that we end up hitting around the 382 Fibonacci, or even lower, which is around $86,500. But this scenario where we just break into all-time highs It's not realistic to me. I don't think in any way that Bitcoin has the potential right now to rally extremely hard. If it does, it would surprise everybody. So right now, Bitcoin is at the point where I called it would hit $91,000 several times. We're at the point where something drastic could happen. I don't think that it's worth the risk to buy at a major support point and hope that the market rallies to the upside. It doesn't make sense to me to take on that risk, because maybe before in the past, it made sense to take on that risk and you were successful. But the more times we get to this range, the more likely we're just going to smash below it. So that is an absurd risk to take, which you might be successful and it might pay off. But you have to consider the risk of trying to long something right now and trying to catch a falling knife. That's basically what you're looking at. If we take a look at some of the major factors right now, we're going to take a look at, for example, the total market cap, okay? The total market cap, this was the major support range, $3.09 trillion. Okay, that was the major support. I mean, if you take a look at it right now, doesn't it just look like it's on pace to hit maybe these lower support trend lines down over here? Like how Ethereum ended up hitting it, right? If you take a look at Ethereum, okay, Ethereum ended up hitting something that nobody thought was possible. Okay, Ethereum ended up hitting this lower end range. This range that was lasting for about how many years? Like 2.5 years. Nobody thought Ethereum would actually hit it again, but it did. And Ethereum hit $2,000. It would not be impossible for the total market cap to hit right around here and retest 2.63 trillion again. To me, this is a very high possibility if Bitcoin ends up dropping to around the $84,000 to $87,000 ranges. So it's better to be safe than sorry. So I don't think that the total market cap is bullish in any way. Right now, it's soaring to the downside with the MACD, with the RSI moving parabolically down. There's nothing bullish about this. There's no bullish divergence on any time frames at all. The 4-hour is also soaring down. The weekly chart is also soaring down. The only thing that could happen is if we do like a V-shaped correction where we drop down parabolically hard and then we do a V-shaped correction that's unexpected. But right now, as it stands, there's literally no bullish divergence on any time frame. And you know how Ethereum ended up hitting down over here, like I mentioned, right? Over here, well, look at the total 2 market cap. There's a very high chance that it's finally going to hit down there and finally drop another 11% or so and hit the $1 trillion range. The total 2 market cap already ended up falling down below the March all-time high. And that's ridiculous in my opinion, that every single altcoin pretty much lost its value since the Trump election. The Trump election was a huge catalyst for the altcoin season, and many altcoins did huge gains, but everything has been wiped out. And right now, if you take a look at Total 3 is very, very likely to retest this range. Now, it might hold, but we have no idea if it's going to hold. If it doesn't hold, we know exactly where it's going to end up. It's going to end up probably hitting this lower range, just like how Ethereum did, just like how the Total 2 market cap is likely to do that as well. So as it stands, if you take a look at a lot of the big coins that have moved, like Solana, since the elections, right? The elections, it did very, very well. For the elections, Solana rallied like, it ended up rallying like 17 days. And then, of course, for the release of the Trump meme coin, right, it ended up rallying significantly. And the Trump coin was released on the Solana blockchain, so Solana rallied extremely hard, but it fell equally hard as well. It fell about 51%. So Solana has wiped out all of the gains, and if you look at Sol, where is it likely to land? It's very likely to land around maybe $126. This is the most likely support that it's going to get to. Why would it just stop randomly and then start skyrocketing? It's not going to. Supports are meant to be tested, okay? If you look at a coin like Polkadot is brutal, okay? Polkadot is one of the crazy ones that ended up just getting wrecked in the market. And unfortunately, I'm not happy with it. I was extremely happy when Polkadot broke around these ranges, around the $7 range, because it broke the November highs. And then of course it ended up just getting bull trapped several times. And then it created another support around these ranges, but it broke through it. So if you look at Polkadot, where is it likely to hit? It's very likely to hit around these lower ranges again, right? Around $3.75 before it bounces to the upside. And this is a very long time running support. So I believe that Polkadot, some of these giant coins in like the top 100 market cap coins, they're all going to end up retesting these. They're all going to end up dumping. It's almost impossible. 5 clear waves on Solana. Like, you think there's 5 clear waves, but they're not that clear, man. It's parabolically dropping. That is not 5 clear waves to me in any way at all. But by all means, long it if you want to catch a falling knife, man. You know, so you look at a coin like Polygon, they're all reaching some massive lows. None of these coins are showing any support. So basically, every single coin is in the same boat. So how do you approach the market right now? What is the best decision from a risk perspective? Well, it's really up to you to decide, first of all, okay? Only you can decide what you guys want to do when it comes to the amount of risk that you want to take on in the market. So if you want to DCA, because, well, first of all, decide if you want to trade or if you want to invest. Okay, if you want to day trade, you know, now is not the best time to get into any type of long positions or even catch a falling knife. If you want to invest, you have to also decide how much risk you're willing to take on, right? And if you're willing to take on risk, it would be a fairly reasonable place to start DCing very small, for the fact that if we have the assumption that Bitcoin will continue to the upside, then, and these coins are all reaching a major support level, there could be a major bounce. But putting all of your eggs in one basket in terms of DCing now and buying everything, it's probably not the best decision. Right now, from a risk perspective, it makes more sense to be extremely cautious about the market because of the way that Bitcoin is behaving, because of the way altcoins are moving to the downside and hitting a ton of these supports, or they're about to hit it. So I personally don't believe it's the best time to DCA right now because of how the market cap is entirely bleeding and coins are making a much lower low. But because they are, there's also a lot of opportunity to day trade still in the market, in my opinion. There have been coins that are still rallying extremely hard. Like, you take a look at a coin like Res today. Res did something ridiculous, if you guys noticed it. Res today, I know it's hard to catch these coins, but it moved up 27%, right? You take a look at other coins, like, they're still doing reasonably well relative to the downtrend. Like, you take a look at IP. IP ended up moving about 28% since yesterday. So some coins are recovering extremely well because Bitcoin is getting somewhat close to a support level. But only some coins, not every, right? Only some coins, not every. That BAN was an incredible coin to trade, but unfortunately I missed it because of the time that it ended up dropping, and also my account was on cooldown. But it ended up making a fairly reasonable 5 wave that was fairly easy to catch, in my opinion, right? So you know that this was somewhere like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and that was a 5 somewhere, and that was an easy short that I think a lot of people could have caught. So right now, I'm more so going to focus on day trading, because day trading is going to allow me to not be exposed in the market. I don't want to be overly exposed in a portfolio or in a swing position. The less time that I have a position in the market, whether it be day trading or swing trading or scalping or investing, the better and safer I'm going to be to prevent a gigantic drop in the market like how we've seen. I personally don't want to take on a lot of risk, and because of that, I'm more so going to engage in heavy day trading, quick day trading, the ones that I see opportunity, get in and get out. Just because I've lost trust in the market, the sentiment in the market is also very bearish right now, even though there's blood in the streets, and that's where you probably should invest and hold and DCA to make money in the market. It's just not a market for me, because I've been in the market for a very long period, for 10 years now, and I just don't see the major bounce coming this moment. But when Bitcoin does prove me wrong and the market does prove me wrong, perhaps we'll get a gigantic bounce. The market ends up recovering very well. And I see a huge green, that there's a good momentum upwards and things are starting to flip and it's much more clear. And maybe I'll lose out on a gigantic percentage at the bottom, but I'm not going to have that FOMO and be like, oh, I should have got in, but I didn't. It's all right because you can potentially catch a dip. You can potentially trade the next wave up as well or start to DCA when the market is showing better conditions. So I believe that it's better to just not be in the market and have high exposure right now. But day trading is a different market. It's a condition where you can trade in any market, whether it's bearish, whether it's bullish. You can short, you can long. And there's always going to be opportunities as long as there's volatility. And that's why I'm going to mainly focus on day trading. And I think that there's still tons and tons of opportunities. And I'm very excited for Saturday because Saturday is where I officially start the live streaming for the Platinum group. So other than that, guys, thank you very much for joining me. I hope that you stay very cautious. If you are interested in joining the Platinum group, just take a look at the link below. And now I'm going to let you guys go and start updating my private Discord group privately and try to hunt for trades and share it with them. So other than that, guys, have a great day. Thank you for your time.